As with a lot of tradition with chancellors over recent years, they've tended to pre-announce a lot of the income tax rates, personal allowance rates before the budget. So there weren't an awful lot of surprises today for a private client or an individual that's working. Where I did see, I was a little bit surprised, and the chancellor's got a difficult balancing act to actually achieve, because obviously he was trying to build up a war chest of a slush fund, if you like, before we exit the EU, and if there's any potential downturn in the UK economy, then having that slush fund will enable him to buffer the downside. Obviously there's problems by doing that. He still wants to get the public borrowing down and reduce the deficit, so it's a very tough act for the Chancellor, and he's coming at it from a point of view where he's going to look at increasing taxes for the self-employed. So I was a little bit surprised for a Conservative Chancellor that he would pick on small business owners, entrepreneurs in that way, but he does have to find the money from somewhere. So what he's doing for self-employed is, from April 2018, the rates, it's called Class 4 National Insurance, that's the rate that self-employed people pay on profits from their businesses. Effectively that we're going up by 1 percentage point to 10% from April 2018, and then the following year from April 2019 we're going up another percent to 11%. So it's almost harmonising the rates that an equivalent employed person would pay 12% on an equivalent level of earnings currently. So it's almost addressing the imbalance between the two at the moment. The Chancellor reckons this year alone it will cost £5 billion in revenue for the Exchequer to have that imbalance in place. So that's one way he's going to claw back some funds to try and build up this pot of money, this war chest for post-Brexit. I've also seen some dramatic changes. We've seen some dramatic changes today to the dividends tax-free savings allowance, effectively. So at the moment, £5,000, this was introduced by George Osborne, the previous Chancellor, and came in from April 2016. But previously, up until now, at this point, you can receive dividends from your own business or from buying stocks and shares in other companies of £5,000 a year, and that's completely tax-free. So for a married couple, £10,000. So quite a significant allowance, and the Chancellor's realised that by closing that down and reducing that, what he's done today is announced from next April that allowance will be cut from the tax-free allowance, the nil rate allowance, from £5,000 to £2,000, but only for directors or owners of managers of businesses. So if you were to go out and buy shares in say FTSE 100 stocks, not as obviously the owner of that business but just the shareholder, then you can still continue to enjoy this £5,000 tax-free allowance. So again, another way that the Chancellor is getting in more revenue to the coffers by taxing small and potential medium-sized businesses in that way. So which is quite, I think it's a very interesting point he's gone down that route, as opposed to sort of mass taxation perhaps. And so the government are getting more and more cute in the way they can tax people and find out ways to get it through, not the back door as such, but to actually make sure that it doesn't affect the mass and it's not seen as a big tax hike, as saying putting 1 pence on income tax would, for instance. A significant benefit for our customers is the increase in the ISA allowance. So from April, so in a few weeks' time, that's going up to £20,000. That was pre-announced again, so no surprises there. I'm always a little bit dubious when they announce big tax breaks increases. So this has gone up from 15,240 this year, so quite a big hike, much bigger than inflation. And it makes me wonder whether they're looking at perhaps doing something, removing some of the tax benefits or perks with, say, pensions. So that's been muted in the past. It hasn't been touched or amended significantly during this budget, but we'll watch that space to see what happens there. He's also reaffirmed his election, or the Conservative manifesto promise of 2015 going into the election, that the income tax rate would go up to 12,500 personal allowance by 2020, and that people would only start to pay income tax at 40% rate on earnings over and above £50,000. He's reaffirmed that pledge today. So overall, not many surprises, but really the ones that come out are the issues in regards to the dividend taxation for business owners, and also the increase to national insurance for self-employed. He has reaffirmed again that Britain is open for business post any Brexit deal, by reaffirming the way that corporation tax is going to be reduced down to 17% by 2020. It's going to be coming down in tranches over the intervening years before that. So again, he's really putting that message across that Britain is a good place to do business and generally low taxation. Although if you're self-employed, you might not feel that quite now. So overall, good common sense with fiscal policy. And a difficult balancing act, for this Chancellor to get right. So we'll only see as things develop with the Brexit negotiations, how effective this budget is. But nothing too major, and we just continue to give our clients hopefully good planning. And what we do over the coming days and weeks, we will really pull this budget apart a bit more, do some more insightful views into it once all the details are known.